welcome to Anne Hathaway. Now, Anne's big break was in the Princess Diaries. Yes, she played a princess who confided all the intimate details of her love life to her diary. You think, would a real royal do that? Would they? Yeah. Tuesday, scrambled eggs for tea. Then we did it corgi style. But now, we talked about the being on hits. You know, you're on Grey's Anatomy, you're on Killing Eve, but there's another thing you were in that people come up to ask you about, isn't there?
I think the one that you were talking about, it was just another one of my first earlier American films was a film called Princess Diaries with Anne Hathaway and the great Julie Andrews, and that's the one.
And you played a vice principal.
Yes, I played. I went through, you know, with actors, you can go through seasons of things. I played, at one point, from the early to the mid to the late 90s, all I played were detectives. And then I got a lot of teachers. And then I moved into doctors, but like a lot. And then I moved into a lot of people were wanting me to play like psychiatrists and therapists. And then I would have to be very, very judicious of how many doctors I would play. But yes, this was the character of a vice principal.
And there's a line people like you saying from that movie.
And I haven't seen it since, but I remember it. This is a phone. This is a phone.
Okay. Mime, very good.
This is a fine, very good mime. Theater school. The Queen is coming. I think that's the one.
Beautiful. It moved me. I've got goosebumps.
You talk about the beginning with Mary Poppins, and Walt Disney, he came to see you on Broadway.
I was in a show called Camelot with the wonderous Richard Burton, and we heard that Walt Disney was in the audience and asked if he could come backstage, and he came to the dressing room, and I just thought he was coming to be polite and say he'd enjoyed the show, and he started to talk about this live-action animation movie that he hoped to make of Pamela Travers' series Mary Poppins. And would I be interested in coming to Hollywood to just look at his drawings and the designs that he was thinking of and the outlines and so on, and hear the songs? And I said, oh, Mr. Disney, I would adore to, but I'm terribly sorry, but I'm pregnant. And with this one here, with the one who helped me write the book.
Not me, we're not ready.
No. No, with my Emma. I wish. Well, there you are.
That's quite an exclusive, lady. My mother's going to be furious.
Anyway, Disney very sweetly said, well, that's okay. You're pregnant, so we'll wait. Because I had no idea that a pre-production on a movie can take so long. And by the time he was ready, Emma was now 3 months old, and we all went off to LA together. But there's a PS to the story, which is really lovely. At the time, I was married to my first husband, who's a lovely guy, Tony Walton, who happens to be an English boy that was my childhood sweetheart, and came from the same village that I come from. And Disney turned to him and said, what do you do, young man? And Tony explained that he was a designer of sets and costumes, but relatively unknown, occasionally a little bit. He was just starting in England. And Disney said, well, bring your portfolio with you when you come to Hollywood. And when we got there, Disney hired him on the spot to do the sets and the costumes for Mary Poppins, and he got an Academy Award nomination for that.
Stop it!
No, really.
Amazing. That's an incredible story, isn't it?
I know, yeah. And truthfully, that was Disney's great talent, was spotting talent. Yeah.
When you heard that Disney was going to be in the audience, Walt Disney, did they tell you before the show or after?
No, we heard that he was out front.
Before you went on?
Well, I guess, yes, at some point we knew he was out there.
Oh, does that make you nervous?
Well, I just thought, oh, how lovely. I mean, he's one of the most famous names in the whole world. And then when he asked if he could come backstage, I just thought he was being really polite and nice. Yeah.
Yeah. And I have to say, the book is terrific in that, you know, particularly for fans, where you go into, you know, real detail about the films and over the years and all the kind of challenges that happened. So, obviously, Sound of Music is writ large in the book as well. And you talk in there about... Because because it's such a happy, lovely film. Well, until the Nazis arrive. Until the Nazis... You always forget there were Nazis, don't you? You're always really enjoying that film. Oh, Nazis. But pre-Nazis, lovely.
Nasty heavies,
lovely,
really. Yeah,
lovely till then.
Yeah.
But you talk in the book about the lake and that rowboat
That's
scene,
right.
which was, I mean, properly serious.
Oh, very serious. No, I was in the boat with the whole family, all the children, and we were supposed to see the captain waiting on land to greet us, and he'd been away for a while, so I was supposed to stand up and say, "Oh, Captain, you're home," at which point I fall out of the boat. And just before... And we all then tumble out into the lake. And just before we rolled, this assistant director waded into the water and said, "Can I ask you something, Julie? The little one doesn't swim." And so... And I'm saying, "What?" And so he said, "So would you try to get to her as quickly as you can?" And he said, "When you fall out of the boat, try to fall forward." Yeah. And I'm thinking, he said, "No, we'll do our best as well, but if you..." I was thinking, my God, nobody told me this. And she was a sweet little,
Walt.
7-year-old. Oh, she's now this gorgeous-looking lady. But then she was just 7 and she couldn't swim. So anyway, the boat rocked backwards and forwards and backwards, and I went over the back rather than over the front. Never swum the breaststroke so fast in my life to get to her, and that poor, lovely kid went under a couple of times, but she came up and threw up and then was fine.
Show business.
I know.
Oh.
She was so brave.
Anne Hathaway, mistress of the accents.
Yes.
Can you do Cockney?
Go on, Anne, give it a go, babe.
All right, love, you want me to give it a go?
Hey!
I actually have a story, and I think it's a Cockney accent, I'm not sure. When we were filming Batman, there was this one day we were filming in central London, and Christian was walking to set, and there were these 2 boys, and they're sitting there, and they're staring at him, and one of them goes, "Oi! You Batman!" And the other one goes, "No, he's not Batman. Look at his teeth."
Whatever that means. Matthew, you don't do accents, do you?
Go all over the place.
But Matthew McConaughey, is an accent.
Yes, we wouldn't want you any other way.
No.
You do. Actually, this is terrible. So early doors to do it, but to relax us, to put in the mood for the show. Can you do your that thing you do?
That 3 affirmations.
Yes.
Things are going well, and
Yeah.
you got 3 things, and you're about to cruise up and get the 4th, and everything is all right, all right, all right.
It's almost a Cockney expression, that, isn't it?
It's a bit slow. Cockney's a bit, all right, all right.
Can I say something? It occurred to me on the ride over, when you get dubbed in Italian, you're like, d'accordo, d'accordo, d'accordo.
I want to hear that.
I would like to tell the viewers at home it's very effective in person. So, the all right, all right, all right.
See,
It takes on a whole
I'm avoiding
new-
saying it because you don't want to say it because you say it. It's you say it.
It's not ours, it's his.
It's you.
It's public domain.
But that film, Mary Poppins, is so sweet and lovely, and yet it was it was dangerous to make.
Yes.
Which sounds ridiculous. Then.
Well, yes. I mean, there were a lot of stunts, a lot of flying stunts, which they saved mostly toward the end of the film because by that time most of the film was in the can, and presumably if an accident happened, it was safe, Yeah, it's true, though. They saved everything until the last 2 or 3 days, all the high-flying stuff. And I was hanging around much higher than this studio, I can tell you, on wires in an excruciating harness. And it was my last day, and there were wires going along the back of the studio down to balancing equipment and sandbags and things. But I felt myself, when I was hanging around up there waiting for the shot to be set up, I felt myself drop by about a foot, maybe 6 inches, and I thought, oh my God, my luck is running out. This is it. So I called down to the floor manager and I said, excuse me, I just felt the wire give just a little bit, and when I come down, could you just be sure that you really let me down easy? And I heard the word go back along the length of the studio, Joe, when she comes down, let her down easy, Joe, let her down really easy. At which point I dropped like a ton of brick to the stage. And there was this awed silence, and I let fly with a few Anglo-Saxon four-letter words that Disney had certainly never heard before. And then Joe's voice from way at the back of the studio yelled, "Is she down yet?" I never saw him again, poor fellow.
I bet you did. Because we all grew up watching this movie, and Channing, you're a newish dad, so you're maybe too young to watch Mary Poppins.
Way too young. 1 year old, just going to be at the end of this month.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's...
But now, I read you really like this being a dad thing. You've taken to it.
I really do, yeah. It's a new task and challenge, and it's fun. It's fun. But the first year, you're just sort of an assistant. Like, really, you're just like, bottle? Okay. All right, go, bottle. And it's really just all about the mother and the baby. And we have a beautiful, beautiful little girl.
Because you said... People like... ovaries are popping all over the studio. I'm ovulating now. Let's leave. Quick.
We should have a baby.
That would be nice.
We will. Yes, we will. I should stop talking about it.
Get on with it, yeah.
After the honeymoon, though, okay?
Yes. Whatever you want.
Yeah. But is it true you can still say it backwards? Supercalifragilistic.
Yes.
I can't say
Do you want to hear it?
If you can.
If I can. What do you mean, if I can? said Mary Poppins snippily.
Come on.
Docious ali expiastic fragicalirupus.
Whoa! Anne Hathaway, you've also produced something since you were last here, a human being.
Yes.
Yes.
I guess it did
Jonathan. And he's 3 now?
Yes, he is.
3. And I'm sure he's delightful. I'm sure you have a lovely relationship. But he apparently... Is this true that he doesn't like you to sing at all?
He does not. He does not like my singing voice in the slightest.
Like, how does he react to you singing?
Well, like, sometimes, like, he's very calm, and I'm like, okay, this is it, this is the moment. And so I'll maybe start to sing a song that I know he likes, and he goes, Mama, no. No, Mama, no. And then, like, I'll give it a minute, and I go, and he goes, Mama, no. Tough crowd.
You're like the most amazing singer.
He doesn't care.
Have you shown him your Oscar for Les Miserables?
Yeah.
I've been whacking him around the head with it.
You have children.
No, I don't.
Okay, all right, let's keep it that way.
Social services thought it best I did.
Yeah, but, you know, he loves Peppa Pig. Like, absolutely loves it. And we had a really amazing moment when I was kind of sat at the piano, and he loves the Peppa Pig Christmas episode, and I was trying to work out one of the ones on the piano. And he let me sing it for him. And so I'm, like, kind of tearing up, because it's been a full 2 years of, like, I'm not allowed to sing to my child. And then I was crying, singing Peppa Pig to him.
Aww.
It was so lovely.
That's not so. At least you've got one.
I've got one.
It's a very small
bossy
repertoire.
Pig
Yeah.
working in my favor. I thought
A short evening with Anne Hathaway.
audience of 1.
We've got to mention Mary Poppins' first movie, instant Oscar. You just did that kind of skew your life? That you getting an Oscar is such a big deal. Reese, hello.
It's kind of a big deal.
Big deal.
But to be that famous suddenly, did it hit you like a bulldozer?
Yes, it did. Yes, it did indeed. No, I think it sent me into therapy and analysis and all of that, because it's like, what's going on?
Because Reese, what was the moment? Obviously, you won the Oscar for Walk the Line, but was there? Do you have a moment in your life when you kind of think, oh, I'm actually very famous now?
I remember. I was here in England doing The Importance of Being Earnest film, and then Legally Blonde came out in America, and it made all this money, and I went back to America, and my whole life had changed. Wow. There were paparazzi waiting at the airport. I had a little baby. I was completely terrified.
But did anyone warn you?
No.
Like, before you...
You can't know. People don't know who's going to become... And you don't know why you're the person that people like.
You don't know it's going to be a huge hit.
Well, except, Jennifer, there's a famous picture of all of you guys, all the Friends cast, on a plane. I think you're being flown to Vegas.
Oh. Yeah, that's correct. That's with Jimmy Burrows, who was our director, a very fantastic, infamous television director, took us to Vegas and took us to dinner at Caesar's Palace, very fancy, and told all of us to, basically he said, I want you guys to all really look out for each other because this is probably going to go on for a long time. Oh. And he said, so the most important thing is look out for each other, take care of each other. And then he gave us each a couple $100 and he said, now go into this casino and enjoy yourselves because it's the last time that you'll have your anonymity.
That's interesting.
So we didn't know what the heck that meant. So but it really kind of was.
Because once that's...
So someone did sort of prep us, but then again, when it happens, you still think it's so weird.
It's all the touring and trips. And
yes.
I mean, not that one should ever knock it. It's
yes.
it's part of being, it's a huge gift.
Yeah.
But it is a lot of obligation, I think, yeah.
It's strange when someone comes up to you in the aisle of a pharmacy and you're buying toilet paper.
I know.
And they're like, oh my God, can I get a...
excuse me, there's a fabulous story about my little Emma, and she was about 3, and she was taken to Saks, to the local Saks, where they had a huge display of cardboard cutouts of Mary Poppins and everything. And she said, oh, look, there's Mummy. And she suddenly heard 2 ladies say, isn't that sweet? That little girl thinks Mary Poppins is her mother.